Tekken 8 has recently been causing a lot of outrage. When Tekken 8 hit the scene last year, many considered it amazing, and rightly so. It quickly garnered a reputation as one of the most polished fighting games to ever launch. Fighting game aficionados loved this game, and who could blame them, considering its quality. During that period, in a world where Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1 were previously stealing the spotlight, Tekken 8 didn't just keep up. It dominated the conversation. Boasting far more features and content than its competitors, it set a standard that had gamers and critics alike singing its praises. Most agreed, this was a must-buy fighter. However, despite having a golden start to life, things have taken a wild turn. As time has marched forward, a storm of controversy has been swirling around this once celebrated title. So, what went wrong with the game that felt so right? Despite all of its strengths, recent fan reviews have seen a massive shift in consumer opinion, with many expressing disappointment with regard to the direction the game seems to have taken lately. So, to understand why this is happening, one needs to take a closer look at the discussions buzzing around the game and some of the dubious decisions that have been made that have rocked its once solid credibility. I am Lady Decade, and this is the pathetic Tekken 8 drama. Despite the buzz and varying opinions about Tekken 8, one thing everyone agrees on is its standout quality as a modern fighter. It boasts a vibrant roster that some fans argue tops even Street Fighter 6. Excitingly, if you use my exclusive links, you can snag Tekken 8 for up to 57% off. But that's not all. There are massive savings on Street Fighter 6 too, nearly 50% off, along with a fantastic deal on the Gear 2 Ultimate Pass, which includes fan favourite M. Bison. Plus, get up to 90% off thousands of top-tier AAA, indie and retro games by clicking the link in the pinned comment. Don't miss out on these epic deals, happy gaming, and even happier savings. In the swirling storm of big-name fighting game releases over the past couple of years, Tekken 8 initially emerged as a beacon of consumer respect, standing tall among the big three fighters that currently exist on the market. With regards to these super franchises, the initial allure of Mortal Kombat 1 quickly soured for many players. This American-developed titan drew intense backlash for its seemingly predatory tactics, with fans appalled to discover a questionable gameplay experience littered with microtransactions, including the audacious requirement of a DLC character simply to unlock a chest in the Invasions game mode. This rightfully would mortally wound the game's reputation. The outrage was palpable when some players shelled out a staggering $120 for the premium edition at launch, only to be slapped in the face by the greedy hands of publishers demanding more cash to access the game's iconic fatalities, the very spectacles that have long been a hallmark of the series. While Mortal Kombat's reputation plunged into the depths of consumer disdain, what for its competitor Street Fighter 6? Unfortunately, this game too stumbled with its fighter coin system, infuriating fans. Particularly egregious was the third set of outfits, locked away behind a real-world paywall, inaccessible through any in-game achievements in World Tour mode. Anyone desiring these costumes faced a grim toll. Cough up an additional $100, an outright insult to player intelligence. But perhaps the most blatant exploitation of the game's audience came with the Ninja Turtles costume fiasco. In a tantalizing but costly crossover, players could don the skins of the beloved quartet for a jaw-dropping $60, equivalent to the game's full retail price at launch. All for a few digital costumes. It's exasperating to see modern gaming reduced to such exploitative tactics. Oh, the disdain I feel for the current state of play. Amidst the sea of exploitation in the gaming world, Tekken 8 emerged as a shining example of a game that seemed to respect its player base. With its extensive roster, diverse play modes, and a generous array of costumes included right out of the box, Tekken 8 was celebrated for its consumer friendliness, a refreshing change from the predatory practices rampant in its competitors' offerings. The title received glowing reviews and gamers lavished praise on the publishers for the respect they felt, a stark contrast to the experiences with titles from NetherRealm Studios and Capcom. Sadly though, as the saying goes, all good things come to an end, and that includes how Tekken 8 players are treated. Just over a month after its release, Tekken 8's comforting embrace began to constrict. The first warning signs echoed with the announcement of a new premium in-game shop. Bandai Namco swiftly marketed that this digital marketplace would feature monthly content updates, including legacy character costumes and avatar skins, all purchasable with real-world money through virtual currency. Although this move might not seem as egregious as some of the other industry sins, Bandai Namco's strategy of price anchoring immediately set off alarms among the Tekken fanbase. The community, initially won over by the game's consumer-friendly launch, now found themselves grappling with the creeping introduction of monetized content, feeling the pressure of a strategy that seemed to edge closer to the very practices they had hoped Tekken 8 would avoid. Regarding this practice, IGN outlines that this is a promo strategy that suggests higher cost options are of better value because they're set against lower cost options. In the game, 500 Tekken coins cost $4.99, which suggests 1,000 Tekken coins would cost $9.99, but you get 1,050 Tekken coins for $9.99 instead. The pricier the bundle, the better the deal. As savvy consumers dug deeper into the newly introduced premium shop in Tekken 8, many quickly realised that several deals didn't quite add up. Rather than offering genuine value, these deals seemed designed to psychologically manipulate players into opening their wallets even wider, sparking significant backlash. The uproar caught the attention of Katsuhiro Harada, the lead figure behind Tekken. In response to the mounting criticism, Harada stepped forward, claiming that the soaring costs of video game development necessitated these controversial practices. He revealed that the production of Tekken 8 had nearly tripled in expense compared to its predecessor. This justification aimed to shed light on the financial pressures driving the decision to monetize additional aspects of the game, though not all fans were convinced by this rationale. Many felt Bamco were being very sneaky. As for Harada, he would add that in the past, there weren't so many specs, and there wasn't online. Plus, they didn't have such high resolution and high definition. Now, so many people want the game to run and be supported for a long time. It costs money to continually update the game for that reason. While some players considered the addition of the Tekken shop to be a relatively mild update, focusing primarily on cosmetic items, a larger portion of the community voiced increasing frustration. This sentiment grew as it became clear that this was only the beginning of a series of planned monetizations. During a recent Tekken Talk livestream, developers announced the forthcoming introduction of a Battle Pass system dubbed the Tekken Fight Pass. This system would allow players to earn items by defeating opponents within certain timeframes, adding another layer to the game's monetization strategy. The introduction of this Battle Pass, alongside the ability to purchase new characters through DLC packs, once again resulted in backlash. Chris Scullion from Video Games Chronicle pointed out the significant discontent among fans, particularly those who felt aggrieved having already invested $70 in the base game. Many expressed dismay at the necessity of additional purchases just to enjoy what Tekken 8 purported to offer fully. Tekken 8 fans were beginning to feel they had been extremely misled. Feedback gathered from the community, which included some players regretting their purchase of the expensive Collector's Edition, especially upon learning that both the Tekken Shop and Battle Passes would be integrated into the game merely 2 months post-launch. Since Bandai Namco charged a full price for Tekken 8, some players argued that the company behaved as if the game was given away for free, accusing the gaming industry at large of sinking to new lows to extract every possible microtransaction from its consumers. Speaking of small transactions, since she is one of the most popular Tekken characters designed in years, I recently acquired this lovely Raina cosplay to help with the click-through rate. This fiercely dominating estranged daughter of Heihachi sends shivers down the spines of both her admirers and opponents. It's a sultry spectacle where the line between pain and pleasure blurs, and Raina leaves the crowd and her flattened challengers begging for more. A huge thank you to my Patreon backers who helped fund this costume, and I hope you enjoy my new behind the scenes Raina cosplay shoot, and the rest of my now extensive cosplay backlog is available over there right now. Enjoy! Now, back to the pressing matter of Tekken 8. Over on Reddit, a post erupted with over 800 upvotes, harshly criticising the Tekken Battle Pass as downright scummy. But even worse, some internet users have expressed outrage, mistakenly believing that purchasing the Ultimate Edition of Tekken 8 would automatically grant them access to all early DLC content and season passes. This confusion added to the growing discontent, which wasn't about the existence of the Tekken Shop and Fight Pass, but also about the manner in which these features were introduced. Initially, many players preferred Tekken 8 over Mortal Kombat 1 and Street Fighter 6, praising it as a modern title seemingly free from the predatory practices now commonplace in the industry. However, this sentiment has soured as Tekken's new monetization strategies have unfolded, causing some to feel even more betrayed by the game. In contrast, Capcom, despite its controversial past with monetization, was at least transparent from the start about its intentions for Street Fighter 6. Historically, Street Fighter series releases have featured costly incremental updates, with Street Fighter V notably released in an unfinished state, which many regarded as a deceptive practice. In contrast, Tekken has traditionally offered more respectful treatment, which is why the latest developments in Tekken 8 have particularly stung its loyal fanbase. Some players have gone as far as to accuse Bandai Namco of dishonesty, alleging that the company had long planned to introduce features like the Tekken Shop and Battle Pass, but chose to conceal them to avoid early backlash. The bloody sneaky bastards! Video Game Chronicle highlights a frustration felt across the community, with one user stating, "They always knew there was going to be a Tekken Shop and Battle Pass, but yet they spoon-fed it to the community because they knew there would have been a backlash if they had told us from the beginning." With another user expressing that they felt catfished by Bandai Namco, disgusted by the company's secretive tactics. This sentiment is echoed by others who speculate that Bandai Namco's strategy to introduce these monetization features stealthily was a calculated move to ensure Tekken 8 appeared pristine during its critical launch window. The belief is that this tactic was aimed at avoiding immediate backlash while the game was still receiving widespread acclaim, effectively maximising positive reception before revealing the less favourable aspects of the game's monetization strategy to the world. One Tekken player adds regarding the game that, even if people were still on the fence about it, most of them probably still bought it shortly after launch after hearing all the praise surrounding it. Once everyone was on board, they finally revealed the true agenda. As much as I'd love for it to be a better explanation, it is the way it is. Regarding the discourse surrounding Tekken 8's rollout, it's clear that there's a substantial basis for the frustration felt within the Tekken community, with many gamers genuinely feeling wronged by how the situation unfolded. On the flip side of the debate, while it's understandable that Bandai Namco is eager to generate additional revenue, the crux of the issue lies in their approach. There's a prevailing sentiment that much of the discontent could have been mitigated if Bandai Namco had been more transparent from the beginning about their plans for monetization, and the introduction of features like the Tekken Shop and Battle Pass. This transparency could have potentially preserved trust and tempered the backlash from their loyal fanbase. You'd think things would only get better from here, right? But you'd be wrong, as more monetization drama would be on the horizon. Earlier this month, those players who naively parted with their cash for the game's Season 1 pass were briefly thrilled to gain access to players Heihachi. However, their excitement quickly dissolved into dismay as they realised that a crucial element showcased in the promotional trailer was conspicuously absent. It soon emerged that even those who had already shelled out for the Season 1 pass were expected by Bandai Namco to cough up an additional $5 if they wished to experience Heihachi's Genmaji Temple stage.
Is he having a laugh? Are you having a laugh?
This revelation reignited anger across the gaming community, prompting an exasperated Katsuhiro Harada to step in once more, likely wearied by yet another predictable cycle of outrage and damage control. He expressed regret, stating, "I understand that the community has some questions about the release of this stage DLC. As the person in charge of the Tekken franchise, I apologise. It was made clear from the beginning that the Year 1 Pass, Season Pass, would not include stages, but even so, when the Lydia Sobieska DLC was released, the Seaside Resort stage was a free update, and in this case, even though the additional story mode, which should have been the highest development costs, is a free update, but the Genmaji stage was sold separately, and as a result, the release ended up being one that was not well understood or accepted by everyone. There are various reasons for this, but I will talk about the background to this as an individual in order to increase transparency to some extent. The Tekken project is divided into two companies, a game development studio and a publisher that is responsible for game sales. At the time of the development and release of Tekken 7, the development and publishing companies were not separate. As some of you may know, I moved to the development studio side a few years ago and have been focusing on maximising the quality of the content, tech, graphics, etc. The development side and publishing side each have their own roles, and there are differences in the way they think and the responsibilities. I, who should be the one to act as a bridge between the two, have not been able to properly participate in the publishing sales decision-making process for. As a result, I think that there were parts of the process that did not take the Tekken community's opinion into account. I think I failed to create an organisational structure that would allow me to oversee things beyond my own position. One of my roles was to listen to the opinions of the community and reflect them not only in the content but also in the outgame. But I was clearly becoming passive, worrying about the relationships between companies and not exercising my role. From now on, I will review this structure and change it to one that values the community as it did in the past." Nice words in theory, but can we really trust Harada? Or is he just playing a game of hide the DLC? Let's discuss what we know about him more. Katsuhiro Harada, the Tekken Titan, is as legendary for his contributions to the game as he is for having absolutely no filter. Known for his candid and bold demeanour, Harada has carved out a reputation not just as a gaming guru, but as a straight shooter in interviews and on social media. Whether it's tackling tough topics or dropping truth bombs, Harada never shies away from a chance to speak his mind, much to the delight and sometimes dismay of his followers. What's really charming about Harada is that despite his no-nonsense exterior, he's got a playful streak a mile wide, often showcased through sharp wit and penchant for trolling, especially with fans on Twitter. Gamers are a demanding bunch, and one of Harada's most iconic responses, "Don't ask me for shit," has turned into a beloved meme within the Tekken community. It shows he's got a knack for teasing his fanbase just the right way. His ability to blend humour with professionalism has endeared him to gamers everywhere. So when Harada speaks, you'd hope he's not just throwing words around. He's speaking with genuine truth and heart. Unlike some of the other talking heads in this often revolting industry. Speaking of the industry, Harada recently took to Twitter to vent. He made sure to clarify in a pre-moan parenthesis that his rant wasn't about Tekken, hinting at a much wider issue. In a burst of a hot take, he proclaimed his love for the video game industry, calling it the ultimate vocation and describing himself as perennially upbeat. But then came the buts. He lamented, "Being in this industry so long, I mean maybe too long, I've seen my share of dream worlds crumble and gaming ideals dashed. It's in those moments I kind of get why the movie Joker resonated with so many, controversy and all." He echoed the film's dialogue with a personal twist. "You ask these same questions every week. How's your job? Got any negative thoughts?" To which he replied, "All I've got are negative thoughts." Harada mused, I guess when you've been around the block as long as I have, you have those Joker moments. One user would respond to all of this asking the Tekken man if he believes that there is a way to bring the gaming industry back to its glory days. In his usual candid fashion, Harada responded by stating, "It depends on whether there is a return to the starting point of investment in possibilities and dreams rather than return on investment. Our industry, all involved, has become too focused on stable business. For example, Nintendo and PlayStation's godfather, Mr. Kutaragi, and Yu Suzuki of Sega invested more in the challenge of dreams and ideals than in the stability of their businesses and titles." These tweets from this highly opinionated individual reveal not only his depth of experience, but also a level of introspection and vulnerability not often displayed by figures of his stature in the gaming industry. This complexity suggests that Harada's approach, while sometimes brash, is deeply rooted in a genuine passion for gaming and a commitment to keeping the industry honest. He engages directly with fans and critics alike, bringing a human touch to the often impersonal corporate world of gaming. This openness and authenticity makes him a unique and influential voice in the field, trusted by many to speak frankly about the challenges and realities of game development. So perhaps he is being truthful when he apologises to Tekken fans. Despite a seemingly heartfelt apology, this hasn't stopped review ratings for the game from continuing to tank. Despite all of the negative reception for the game, more drama is unfolding due to a controversy that would take place during an official competitive Tekken event. Chen XCC Ruolin's disqualification from the Tiger Uppercut 2024 event in the Tekken World Tour has sparked significant controversy. Despite his remarkable skills, which earned him a 9th place ranking, XCC was ousted simply because China was not listed as an eligible country, a glaring oversight in the tournament setup. This exclusion not only tarnished the integrity of the competition, but also ignited a storm of criticism and chaos, leaving fans and participants to grapple with a slew of what-if scenarios. The incident highlighted a lack of foresight by Bandai Namco, which allowed such a significant error to influence the outcome of a major tournament. Bandai Namco has since acknowledged the oversight and has taken steps to correct it. They have updated the rules to allow Chinese players to compete in future events and have invited XCC to participate in a last chance qualifier. Additionally, they reimbursed affected players for their travel and accommodation expenses. Why is there constant drama surrounding this game? Despite the constant missteps surrounding the existence of this one, not every story revolving around the monetization of this game is a negative one. Just a few days ago, Bandai Namco issued an apology for the role of the controversial Genmaji Temple DLC that we mentioned earlier. The Tekken Project team claimed they had thoroughly discussed the feedback, so decided to take measures. To address the community's concerns, Bandai Namco has updated the benefits for Season 1 pass holders. Those who purchase this pass will now also receive access to the Temple stage. Additionally, any Year 1 pass holders who had previously purchased this DLC stage independently will be compensated through a second gift, ensuring that they receive equivalent value for their initial expenditure. In an effort to maintain positive relations with its players, Bandai Namco announced that anyone who logs into Tekken 8 from the 29th of October to the 26th of November will automatically receive 500 Tekken coins, the game's in-game currency. This amount, valued at $4.99, corresponds to the cost of the Genmaji Temple and ensures that all players can feel appreciated and fairly treated, even if they feel that they have been wronged by the Tekken brand earlier in the year. These recent actions suggest that Tekken 8 is moving towards a more transparent direction in terms of monetization. With Katsuhiro Harada at the helm, it appears that the leadership is genuinely interested in aligning with gamers' interests and responding to their concerns. This responsiveness and willingness to make amends is a positive sign that Harada and the Tekken team are not only listening but are actively working to ensure their community feels respected and heard. Now, if only Western developers and publishers could begin showing more respect for their audience when they make mistakes. Bearing this in mind, maybe this game has a brighter future than some of us give it credit for. So it's good to have a video finish on a positive note for a change. Don't forget, I can get you a massive discount on Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6 and thousands of other titles by using my affiliate links. And if you want to support my work in a more personal way, you can gain access to my Raina Cosplay photos and my entire cosplay photo library by becoming a backer over on Patreon right now. I look forward to speaking with you over there very soon.